What's up, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more punk rock, and we're back with some more Bad Religion, and we're going to their earliest material, although I guess this is technically their third album. We're going to listen to a tune that I first heard on 8085, though it's from their album Back to the Known, which came out in 1985, so it's sort of the tail end of this period. And again, I believe for the next couple years they were at least on hiatus, if not broken up, and then eventually they sort of reformed in 88, and there you get Suffer, and away we go. But yeah, I really do enjoy the material on this album. It sounds a bit grittier, a bit sort of raw, a bit more like rawer, that's a funny word to say. But yeah, a bit more kind of that early 80s like gritty hardcore, less of sort of the melodic hardcore sound that they would later like really sort of help establish and perfect, if you will. I mentioned it before, although when I did it, I didn't know who wrote the tune. I reacted to part 3 on this. I really do love that tune. One of my very favorites from the early Bad Religion period. I didn't know then it was written by Jay Bentley, although the way that bass comes in the introduction of the tune, maybe I should have known, because that is a tune that, you know, a person who plays the bass might write. But no, I love the bass in that track, and I love the lyrics, so shout out to Bentley. Didn't realize that at the time, but someone mentioned it. We're going to listen to a tune called Yesterday. I don't know if this one is written by Gurewitz, but I remember reading something where Gurewitz was saying, like, the song was almost deliberately a little poppier because it was sort of like, in a way, kind of an homage to the Beatles, so I'm not sure, but the lyrics, as far as I can tell, there's sort of this tension between, like, you know, trying to enjoy the moment and be where we are, but not, you know, get ossified or just, you know, get old and sort of antiquated, sort of keep moving and look more toward tomorrow rather than looking back into the past. But again, there is this tension between, like, yeah, you know, maybe do look back, but don't stop. Don't get caught there. Don't, you know, get obsessed with looking back. Keep moving toward the future. But then again, there's lines about, like, the future has been rehearsed. So I don't know, I do think there's also a sort of ominous foreboding about what might actually lie ahead, even if it is ultimately better to be forward-looking rather than backward-looking. So let me know what you think about the lyrics. As I said, it's a bit opaque to me, although it's obviously sort of a dichotomy between what is and has been versus what might be or what's coming, whether that could be more positive and optimistic, or whether, you know, there are plans that have been put in place to keep anything like that from happening, and, you know, we're going to keep the status quo and so on, which I think there's at least an implication of. So yeah, let me know what you think about the lyrics. Let me know what you think about this type of material. As I mentioned, I do think it has a different sound than stuff that came later, but I really do love a lot of songs on this. You know, I'm going to have to do more from this album, certainly. Voice of God is Government, Faith in God, Fuck Armageddon, This is Hell, White Trash, Second Generation, We're Only Gonna Die. There's just so many good ones. So, you know, I'm going to keep jumping around, not only like Bad Religion, but punk rock in general. But believe me, we're going to go through a lot of stuff on 8085. But here we go. This is Yesterday from their album Back to the Known, which is heard here as part of 8085. Learn, but don't be scared to look behind. Don't just take, you know, spoon-fed what you're learning. Again, there's an irony, like, the sky there, it's so nice and clear. The end is almost here, but it's like wary of historical nostalgia, but also wary of, like, hey, the future is progress. Again, laugh along the way and kiss your ass goodbye with a shadow dream of yesterday. It's not actually, it's like this shadow of what really happened. And again, we historians, the idea of the good old days. What are you talking about, man? But again, lines like that I think ambiguate it a little bit. There's a wariness in both directions. Like a triangle. There's a cowbell, definitely. Where is the Christopher Walken version of Bruce Dickinson when you need him, right? You're gonna want that cowbell on the track. I like Greg hitting that higher like timbre with his voice. Stop, brackets, but, and brackets, don't wait too long, make up your mind. I like that holding that and then kind of getting dissonant at the end of it. Oh, brilliant. Like I said, this whole album is genius, or sorry, compilation, I should say. And when I heard it, it was after I had heard the first few albums later that sort of defined my early exposure to Bad Religion, Suffer, Against the Grain, No Control, and I think Generator, and then I think I heard this. And I think I got it around the same time as I got All Ages, which I have over here. I actually don't have the disc to All Ages anymore, which, whatever, it's a greatest hits album, so the fact that I have pretty much every other album, or at least compilation, I think I have everything that is on All Ages. But I remember getting All Ages and 8085 around the same time, and it felt like I was filling in any gaps that I had and was then ready to, you know, go forward into the later 90s and their new stuff that was coming out. Although, again, I mentioned Process of Belief. That was when, like, you know, my, like, full re-excitement, kind of in the way I was when I first discovered Bad Religion. That's when it, like, reignited because Brett came back to the band. And, I feel like that's sort of an essential ingredient. Nevertheless, I really do love their early stuff. As I said, there's more songs on this I'd like to react to. Let me know if there's one in particular on 8085 that you'd like to hear. Let me know what you think about this song or the lyrics. Let me know if you have a slightly different take, or at least, you know, different parts of it kind of hit you a little differently. Yeah, I'd love to hear what people think. And again, shout out to Bad Religion for now being around for 40 years and continuing to make amazing punk rock, and, you know, finding new ways and new ideas to express through the punk rock idiom. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, shout out to Brett, shout out to Greg, shout out to their new drummer, who I know he's not like super new, but within the last few years, I think, and I believe he's like originally from the metal scene. So yeah, shout out to him. And shout out to everyone who's been in the band at one point or another. Brian Baker, Greg Hetson, was it Brooks Wackerman, you know, like all sorts of people have been in the band. But again, the mainstays, I think, you know, Bentley, Graffin, and Gurwitz, I think, are sort of the essential ingredients. Nevertheless, let me know what you think. I do appreciate you listening and watching. Have a good day, have a good night, and I will see you next time. Peace.